The distress signal went out, and the Deathworlder fleet answered. The Charik Alliance had never requested aid before. They took pride in their war armadas, their cutting-edge energy barriers, and their flawless discipline in combat. But the enemy now blotting out their skies was unlike anything they'd ever faced. A hive-minded insectoid world, a living flood that consumed planets, converting everything into fuel for its endless spread. 3 home systems had already fallen. Whole cities were stripped to bare rock in mere hours. The Charik High Council broadcasted an urgent plea to every allied star nation. Their words were raw with desperation. "We are losing. We need immediate support. Anyone who hears this, respond." Across most of the galaxy, the call was met with cold silence. The Kelver Combine offered sympathy but no ships. The Thrixer Syndicate demanded payment before even speaking further. Even the long-trusted Aryan Republic claimed their fleets were unavailable. It seemed finished. The swarm would overrun their capital within the week. Then came a transmission no one expected, a coarse voice rumbling through the comms in a strange tongue. "This is Admiral Vance, Terran Deathworlder fleet. We received your distress call." The Charik delegates froze in shock. "Deathworlders," whispered Counselor Jira. "Those are humans." For several seconds, the chamber was silent. Humans were little more than a curious rumor on the galactic stage. A young, expanding species from an infamous Class 12 death world called Earth. Tales about them were unsettling. Thriving in lethal environments, surviving conditions fatal to most within minutes, and smiling just before doing something terrifying. "We didn't even send the call to them," muttered another counselor. Why would humans respond? No one had an answer. 3 days later, the swarm's colossal bioships hung over Charik Prime, ready to descend. The planet's defense grid was seconds from collapse, when long-range sensors shrieked warnings. A fleet had just dropped from hyperspace. Not a dozen ships. Not 100. 500 heavily armed human warships, black-hulled and bristling with weapons, swept into tight formation. The humans didn't send greetings. They didn't posture with speeches. They moved like predators closing in on prey. Admiral Vance's voice cut through the comms. "Charik Command, clear orbit. Keep civilians planetside. It's about to get messy." The Charik commander tried to warn him. These swarm ships are immune to most. But the words died as the first human salvo struck. The swarm's vessels were vast, living fortresses the size of cities. Against most fleets, they were unstoppable. But the humans bypassed their thick armor entirely, unleashing penetrator rounds faster than sound, plasma warheads bursting in ultraviolet fire, and EMP blasts scrambling the swarm's neural control. The Charik stared in disbelief as human ships dove dangerously close, weaving between acid cannons and bone spires like dancers who'd practiced the routine 1,000 times. Some even rammed smaller swarm craft apart before darting away at impossible speeds. Within minutes, half the swarm fleet was crippled or burning in atmosphere. On the flagship, an officer called out, "Swarm reinforcements inbound, Vector 47. Vance leaned over the holotable. "Let them. Cerberus Group intercept. Kraken prepare a spinal lance shot for the big one." His crew didn't flinch. They'd fought worse. Humans had a saying, "You call us when you're in real trouble, and you don't call us twice." On Charik Prime, cheers erupted as swarm ships fell from the sky, some breaking apart in controlled blasts, others burning up on re-entry. "They're not even losing ships," Jira muttered. His aide shook his head. "It's not just their tech. It's them. They fight like they enjoy it." Another counselor paled. "Now I understand why the galaxy fears humans." Then came the turning point. The swarm's command hive ship, a monstrous living fortress kilometers long, emerged from hyperspace. It dwarfed the human flagship tenfold. Its arrival silenced both Charik and human channels, until Admiral Vance grinned. "There you are." The Kraken's primary weapon fired, a focused lance of plasma and tungsten, almost at light speed. It punched through layer after layer of organic plating, igniting volatile biofuel inside. The explosion lit the system like a second sun. Leaderless, the swarm collapsed. Their remaining ships fled into hyperspace. The humans stayed 2 more days, helping repair Cherek's defenses and hunting the last stragglers. They refused payment. When Counselor Jira asked why they'd come, Vance's answer was simple. Because you asked. And because one day we might be the ones calling. As the Deathworlder fleet faded into the stars, Charek citizens lined the streets to watch the black-hulled ships vanish. From that day on, a quiet truth spread through the galaxy. If humans answer your distress call, your enemies are already dead.